It's me again, Allison Love Beatty, broadcasting Allie's voice. It's an exciting morning because a friend of mine gave me the email address of a reporter for the LA Times that seems to do some real provocative journalism, and I think he has a trend of being more altruistic and trying to raise issues. So let's cut ahead. I sent him an email on one of my issues, and I kind of hope it gets a response. It might. It might. I pride myself on my writing, so here goes. I'll read it to you. This broadcast might end up being 3 minutes. I apologize. I try to keep it short and sweet. So here we go. Dear Mr. Costello, you may be interested in an issue pertaining to the trend of diabetes and some facts supporting the trend, and it's not what you think. In spite of new drugs coming to market, we continue to see the trend of diabetes complications and death rates rising. It's non-compliant patients, isn't it? The genetically modified insulins used to treat diabetes are more damaging and expensive than patients and doctors realize. Genetic modifications in food gets everybody up in arms. Nobody wants to eat genetically modified foods. We don't know what it's going to do to us long term. Yet people who must inject genetically modified insulins are given no choice. Wait. It's life or death, actually. So, yeah, that's our choice. People with insulin-dependent diabetes do not have the ability to release their insulin. Antibodies and T cells attack the insulin before it's released from the beta cells where it is produced. This has been proven by Dr. Faustman's research. The T cells and antibodies continue to exist because the beta cells continue to attempt to regenerate. Proinsulin is the precursor to insulin. It is made by the beta cells and consists of 3 parts: C-peptide, and 2 polypeptide chains that form insulin. Nature put them together because insulin lowers blood sugar and C-peptide protects the cell membranes from glucose passing through them. C-peptide is the equal and opposite natural force that protects the human body from the effects of blood sugar. People with diabetes who are treated with drugs to lower blood sugar do not receive the protective benefit of C-peptide when they inject genetically modified insulin. C-peptide has been genetically modified out of rDNA human insulins. In the 80s, when human insulin was being promoted as better than animal insulins, this happened, they were able to say it's because it's just like human insulin. This is only half right. The amino acid chains on insulin are 100% identical in amino acid sequence. However, Lantus has one amino acid that's not identical to human insulin. When a person with type 2 diabetes begins injecting insulin that is just like their insulin, they begin developing antibodies and attack the insulin the body produces. This ultimately will cause them to become insulin dependent. Great for business. But I digress. Okay. These genetically modified insulins are made possible through the hard work of bacteria and yeasts, and not a mammal body. This affects the way the insulin is absorbed by the body. True human insulin made in a vertebrate body is more lipophilic, it's fat-loving, than insulins made by bacteria and yeast. This affects the absorption rate and does not truly absorb like insulin made by man. What does this mean? The brain is a blob of fat. When the brain is not receiving glucose as effectively as the rest of the body, things fall out of place. The reaction time of a person with diabetes diminishes. This is because a natural vertebrate insulin sends signals to the brain when the blood sugar is falling. These are most pronounced at a blood sugar of about 54, which is like an A1C of 3.0. The rDNA insulins are most identifiable in a range of 39 milligrams per deciliter, which is actually 2.2. This is documented if you go and look it up on the internet. Yeah. This is significant if you know what a blood sugar of 70 feels like. Now cut that in half. That's basically where the symptoms of true hypoglycemia on rDNA human insulins really are they're kicking you in the butt at that point. The brain is the global command center of the body. Hormones are guided by the central nervous system. The functionality of your brain receptors to blood sugar are diminished over time, more so with the use of rDNA insulins, and more so with heavily controlled blood sugars because the less you lose it, the less you use it, the more you're, what is it, use it or lose it? There we go. Using a time frame since the introduction of rDNA human insulin, the death rate from diabetes has risen exponentially. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I study the facts. I believe in protecting people with conditions and providing information to prevail on this protection. As a journalist for an esteemed company, I hope that you wish to work together to make this story available to enlighten and protect the nation from the dangers of diabetes. And I say worldwide because if Big Pharma, you reach everywhere. You the long arm of Big Pharma. Guys, you need to do better. You need to protect us. Stop doing this for the sake of business. I'm sorry. I think that, Buffett and Gates are right. I mean, people really should be profiting on philanthropy and doing the right thing for people. This is getting preposterous. Okay, I'll stop right now. Alright, I blogged my outrage on AOL's The Diabetes blog on August 28th. Suspiciously, 2 weeks after my blog, AOL made a business decision to retire the blog. Fine, that may have absolutely nothing to do with this. But the fact remains. If I'm wrong, it's not because of the facts. I truly hope that the LA Times, the New York Times, and every other publication out there, CNN, I'm so not even impressed with the due diligence you perform before reporting your stories. That's why I reference your blog to the LA Times, my blog to the LA Times reporter. That sucks. Anyway, so I told him to contact me because this is information that needs to be out there. I don't care who sees it, but I think that doctors and patients should be aware of the fact that there's safer choices in insulin. No more hypoglycemic unawareness car accidents. No more people being killed. People that don't even have diabetes are being killed, and that's ridiculous. This needs to stop. All right, thank you for allowing me to rant and rave for you. This may be it for today, but thanks, guys.